In recent months, one and the same topic has been heard with increasing frequency in the technological circles of Silicon Valley and on closed investor forums, a topic that until recently seemed like fantasy, but is now being discussed in whispers even inside the world's largest corporations. It concerns the idea that Elon Musk, a person who has already changed entire industries from the automotive sector to space, has allegedly come very close to creating the world's first next-generation integrated AI chip based on Neuralink technologies, designed not simply for interaction with devices, but for direct implantation under the human skin, with the ability to project visual information and maintain constant connection to artificial intelligence. According to sources close to the development, this project inside the company is seen not as another gadget, but as the next step in the evolution of the interface between humans and the digital world. Several reputable publications, including Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal, have in recent weeks published cautious reports that Neuralink has accelerated hiring of specialists in neurobiology, photonics, and neurovisual interfaces, which indirectly confirms rumors about work on a device that goes far beyond medical implants for people with disabilities. Insiders claim that the concept of the future chip is radically different from anything the market has seen before. It is not just a neural interface for transmitting commands, but a full-fledged AI module integrated into the human body, capable of processing information in real time, connecting to cloud computing, and projecting images either directly into the visual cortex or through subdermal microprojection systems that use the tissues of the arm or palm as a carrier of the visual interface. Inside the company, a scenario is reportedly being discussed in which a person literally looks at information without taking out a phone, without putting on glasses, and without using a screen in the usual sense. This appears to be a logical continuation of Musk's ideas about a future without smartphones, which he has repeatedly voiced publicly, stating that screens are a temporary solution and that the true interface of the future lies within ourselves. Particular tension around this topic is linked to the fact that the development of artificial intelligence has accelerated sharply over the past 2 years. Musk simultaneously controls several key areas at once: neural interfaces through Neuralink, AI models through XAI, and colossal computing power used to train these systems. According to analysts at Morgan Stanley, it is precisely the synergy of AI and neuroimplants that may become the black swan capable of turning the personal device market upside down faster than the iPhone once did. And if earlier discussions about a chip under the skin were perceived as science fiction, today, against the background of Neuralink's real successes in clinical trials, they are beginning to look frighteningly realistic. According to sources familiar with internal presentations, the potential danger, and at the same time the main prospect of this development, lies in the fact that it may replace an entire class of devices that are now considered an integral part of everyday human life. Smartphones, smartwatches, headphones, fitness trackers, and even elements of augmented reality may become redundant if a person receives a constant interface for interacting with the digital world directly through their own body. That is why, insiders claim, the largest technology giants, Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, Google, are closely monitoring every step Neuralink and Musk take in this direction. According to the Financial Times, a closed group has existed inside Apple for several years, analyzing risks from neural interfaces, despite the company's public position that focuses on a device-based ecosystem rather than intervention in human biology. It is important to understand that at this stage, we are not talking about a mass product. Even the most optimistic sources agree that such a technology could not be introduced earlier than in 5 years, and even then only in the form of a limited prototype or an experimental version for a narrow group of users. Regulatory barriers, medical risks, ethical questions, and the simple unpreparedness of society make a rapid market launch of such a device impossible. That is why experts emphasize that in the coming years, nothing threatens familiar gadgets, and neither iPhones nor smartwatches are going to disappear tomorrow. However, the very way the question is now being framed changes everything. Companies understand that if Musk really brings this technology to a working state, they risk repeating the fate of those who once underestimated smartphones and were left outside the new era. Knowing Elon Musk's nature, many analysts believe that the main danger lies not even in the technology itself, but in the speed with which he is capable of pushing it forward. Musk has repeatedly proven that he is ready to take risks, ignore skeptics, and move ahead despite criticism and pressure. It was this way with Tesla, when electric cars were considered a niche product, and it was the same with SpaceX, when private companies were not taken seriously in the space industry. Now, according to sources, he is acting according to the same pattern. First a radical idea, then gradual normalization, and then a sharp breakthrough that catches the market off guard. Additional concern among competitors is caused by the fact that Musk openly speaks about the need to augment the human being in the era of strong artificial intelligence. In his logic, if AI develops faster than human cognitive abilities, the only way to maintain balance is to integrate technology directly into the human being. And if this approach is combined with a powerful AI, capable of analyzing context, predicting actions, and suggesting decisions in real time, then we are no longer talking about just a new device, but about a fundamental change in the very nature of human interaction with information. That is why some philosophers and futurists describe such developments as the beginning of the era of the augmented human, where the boundary between biology and technology becomes increasingly blurred. For now, officially, Neuralink continues to focus on medical tasks, helping people with paralysis and neurological disorders. However, as sources note, inside the company, they have long been looking further ahead. Medical implants are viewed as the first step that makes it possible to test technologies, obtain regulatory approval, and prepare society for the idea that chips in the body are not something harmful, but a tool. And if this barrier is overcome, the next stage may come much faster than skeptics expect. Thus, even if half of the rumors about Musk's subdermal AI chip turn out to be exaggerated, the very fact that such discussions are being seriously considered at the level of the largest corporations and investment banks says a lot. The world is standing on the threshold of another technological shift, and the question is no longer whether such a technology will appear, but who will be the first to dare to take this step, and what consequences it will have for the market, society, and the human being itself. And that is why Elon Musk's name once again finds itself at the center of a global discussion about the future, where technologies cease to be just tools and begin to become a part of ourselves. At the same time, behind the scenes of the technological world, another alarming question is sounding louder and louder, one that is almost never discussed publicly, but is actively analyzed in confidential reports for regulators and governments. It concerns control over such a technology and who exactly will define the rules of the game in a world where a person receives an integrated AI interface. On the other hand, critics note that embedding AI directly into the human body may make people even more dependent on algorithms, corporations, and infrastructure that they do not control. This conflict of ideas is already dividing the expert community, and as real prototypes approach, it will only intensify. Therefore, even if years remain before the mass adoption of such implants, the discussion around them has already begun, and it may prove no less important than the technology itself.